Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Michigan Wolverines is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jeremiah? We got a great matchup, tremendous matchup here against Ohio State and Michigan. Both these teams 10-1 on the year. Ohio State, they're in that college football playoff. Michigan, they're trying to knock them out and put themselves in. It's going to be a great matchup, man. I can't wait to talk more about it and see what these two teams have upcoming for us on Saturday.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, you know what this is. Ohio State and Michigan. This is one of the most competitive games that we're going to see this weekend. This is one of the ones that matters the most because Ohio State wants to stay in the big games and Michigan is trying to get in. So without further ado, Mr. Logan Landers, tell us Ohio State versus Michigan. What do our live listeners and our amazing podcast listeners have to look forward to this week?
Well, man, let's talk about Ohio State. Like I said, 10-1, they're in the college football playoff at the moment. But my God, last week against Michigan State was at time, I believe, number 7. So it was supposed to be a very close matchup. It was supposed to be another great game. It wasn't. Oh my God, it was a blowout. Michigan State or Ohio State won 56-7. And this wasn't just, a small team, a lower ranked team, a team that hasn't won many games. I mean, this was Michigan State. They have 9 wins on the year. They're a competitive team, and they just absolutely destroyed them. C.J. Stroud, my God, 32 of 35 passing, 432 yards in the air, 6 touchdowns. I mean, what more can you say? He was just doing anything he wanted to against Michigan State. The running game was there. They ran for 206 yards as a team. Master Teague had a touchdown. Williams had a touchdown. The receiving core obviously had a great day. Chris Olave set the record for, I believe, most touchdowns in Ohio State history by a receiver. I think 35 off the top of my head. He had 2 this past game for 140 yards on only 7 catches. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 126. He had 2 touchdowns. And Jackson Smith, man, 10 catches, 105 yards. I mean, they were just doing a lot of great things on offense, man. Obviously, the defense was too. Only gave up a touchdown. The defense, they did a great job. 2 sacks on the day, 9 tackles for losses. Court Williams led the way with tackles. And, man, I mean, just to be able to stop Michigan State, who had a good offense, they were only able to throw for 158 yards, run for 66. So just nothing was working for Michigan State, and everything was working for the Ohio State Buckeyes, man. They've had a tremendous season overall. And, I mean, last week proved to me that they are a legit contender. I mean, you always hear about Ohio State. I know that in the past they've had good success, but there's always going to be some doubters out there, Jeremiah, who say that they might not be ready for the big moment. And I think this game last week proved that they are ready for these moments. I mean, you have a great quarterback in Stroud who's thrown for over 3,000 yards this season, 36 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions on the year. Very solid year from him. Travion Henderson, the running backs look good. Over 1,000 yards rushing with 14 touchdowns. And, the receiving corps done a lot of good work as well. And, I mean, Ohio State is legit. And I know their defense has been a little bit shaky. And I know that Michigan State's offense wasn't the best last week. But, I mean, to only allow 7 points to a top 10 ranked team, that's not too shabby. So, and going up against Michigan, who has a tremendous defense, top 10 in the country in terms of just yards, points, you name it, they're going to have that offensive firepower they had last week against these Wolverines. They want to get the win in this one. And, I mean, man, these two teams, they've been playing for quite a while now. Like I said, with everything going on in the world last year, these teams weren't able to play. But, man, this is a great matchup. They've played 116 times, about to be 117. And, Michigan or Ohio State's got a 6-game win streak. They're hoping to keep that going. Michigan, though, they've looked a little bit different this year. They have a different swagger about them. And they have a great record, 10-1. Their one loss being against Michigan State, just kind of how all this goes and flows. And I've said here on the show, Jeremiah, Michigan, whenever they have that big game, and when they played against Michigan State, they weren't able to come up clutch and get that big win. Prove me wrong, Harbaugh. Prove me wrong, Coach Harbaugh. Prove to me that Michigan is legit this year, that you can get this big win, that you can finally get over that hump and prove that you are a top 4 team in this nation and beat Ohio State and try and move into that college football playoff. You need a few other things to happen, but this is definitely the one key. If you win, you're getting more, your chances are going up higher and higher that you're going to get in. So Michigan, they've had a great success recently on a 3-game win streak. They beat up Maryland last week, 59-18. Cade McNamara did a great job, 21-28 passing, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So a very good day, a very efficient day for him. The running game, Hassan Haskins, 20 carries for 78 yards. Not the greatest, but he did get 2 touchdowns, so it's always going to make up for it. The receiving core, Donovan Edwards was the real star of the game, 10 catches, 170 yards, and a touchdown. The defense did great too. Give up 18 points, but that Michigan defense is nothing to be laughed at. They have whatever they want to play, a top-notch defense, man, and they put their mind to it. It's a dangerous team. Josh Ross had a good day, 8 tackles. They were able to get 2 sacks on the day, 4 tackles for loss. DJ Turner got a pick 6 on the day, and they just looked dominant as they should against Maryland, who has had a pretty decent season. They're 5-6 now, but they were able to get things working and get it in the end. But, man, this is a great game, a big rivalry game. These teams have played each other a lot. Ohio State's got the advantage in recent years, and I think it's going to continue, Jeremiah. I think that just the amazing offense for Ohio State, I do worry a little bit about their defense, but with a mix of playing good defense last week and just Michigan State's offense not clicking, I just think they've got a little bit better momentum coming into this game. And I do think Ohio State, I think the Buckeyes will come out with the win. They put up 47 points a game on average, so it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Like I said, Michigan's got a great defense, though, so I don't think they're going to quite get to that mark. But to go with a final score, my final prediction for this tremendous, probably the game of the week, honestly, in terms of NCAA or NFL, I'm going to go with the Ohio State Buckeyes, 31, a little bit lower, 31. I think Michigan's going to put up a good fight. And I'm going to go with Michigan 28. So Ohio State 31, Michigan 28. Man, I want this to be a close ball game, a 3-point ball game. A field goal will decide the victor in this. I can't wait to watch this matchup. I know the viewers and the listeners, they can't wait to watch it. Ohio State fans, Michigan fans, they've been chomping at the bits. This is the game of the year for both of these teams. I can't wait to watch it, man. It's going to be a great, great matchup. I hope, fingers crossed, that it's going to be a tight one and not a blowout, because I need some good college football this upcoming week, man. I hope this is the one that shows that both these teams are dominant and that this is going to be a great, great matchup.
Definitely. Yeah, and we want to see Ohio State, continue their dominance and continue in, but we'd also love to see Michigan State shake it up and get in there. If nothing else, just exactly what you said. We want to see a tight game where both teams are playing 4 solid quarters of football, and they both are showing us exactly why they deserve to be there. And whoever wins out in the end, we want that to be a real, show of force for both teams that they got there. And Michigan, don't let them roll on you. You know that you're the underdog in this. Ohio State, you got to fight for it. You want to stay in. You want to keep doing it. 4 quarters of football, my friends. So for everybody watching, tell us, what do you think the final score will be with Ohio versus Michigan? We want you to put that in the comments on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. And if you're listening to our podcast, then thank you so much. You can jump over and do a review for our show over on Spotify, over on Apple Podcasts, or anywhere that you listen to podcasts, because we bring you these podcasts every single week. We're so happy to keep you company in the morning, on your way to work, when you're at work at your office, when you're having your lunch break, when you're on your way home, or if you work from home, or if you have a job that keeps you in the car all day. This is a great thing that we can do, is we can keep you company with over 500 episodes, so many of which are incredible, legendary interviews with players that have made the sport great, the coaches and the other broadcasters that bring you all the information you need to have a great decision about what, teams that you support. And that's our job. We do this every single week. We're always here for you. And that is what we do here at 100 Yards of Football. So without further ado, I am so happy that we were able to bring you this show with the Ohio State versus Michigan, hosted by our host Logan Landers. I'm the producer Jeremiah Long, and we'll be right